Magdi?
Hey, Haley.
Yeah, this is not a real pressing question, so if anybody has one, please ask away. But I was listening to a video by Rupert Spira,
Hmm.
and he was talking about, the experience of, once you're firmly established in awareness, that, what did he say? He said something like pre-awakening consciousness is lost in experience. Then after awakening, experience and
Right.
consciousness are commingled, I guess.
Yes, yes. Right, right. So in pre-awakening, what is... Oh, one moment. Let me just do one thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in pre-awakening, what is at the forefront is the experience, meaning the world, body, mind. That's the reality seems to be the reality of experience. And consciousness is sort of not, is sort of eclipsed by the world, body, mind. That is the pre-awakening, what we refer to as ignorance, where the reality is mistaken to be the physical, phenomenal, including thoughts and feelings and emotions realm. And post-awakening, the reality of consciousness is revealed and comes to the forefront, and the experience, the primordial experience post-awakening is that of awareness, of consciousness, and the world, body, mind dissolves in awareness. So, in the awakened state, in the natural state, it's just consciousness, just the self perceiving itself, knowing itself, experiencing just itself, and not a world, body, mind. While in ignorance, it is the mind that is at the forefront. It is the mind that is enmeshed, that is wrapped up in thoughts, in perceptions, in emotions, in feelings, time and space. That's the significance of what Rupert was pointing to.
So basically, post awakening, it's always there. It's always there in the background per se, kind of like, oh, Francis Lucille also said that, how pre awakening we have this sense of doom in the background.
Hmm.
And then he said post awakening, that sense of doom in the background is replaced with, love and excitement, all kinds of positive
Right.
aspects. So is it kind of like in the background, there in the background, kind of just like right now the doom is in the background?
Yes, right. Yes, that's one way. That's a good way
Yeah.
of looking at it. And that, uh, with the identification with the world, body, mind, that consciousness being a separate me, being the I am this mortal body. That's what in ignorance consciousness is believed to be mortal. There is, the virus of mortality. Unhappiness, unease. The clock is ticking,
Yeah.
and so just doing our best to sort of cope up with it. And it's really misery. It's unhappiness, because no matter how you flip it, forms are mortal, are impermanent, are temporal, temporary, and due to the due to the identification with the form, with the perceptions, with the senses, there is that angst that that it's ending. A good meal is ending, a good relationship is ending, the healthy body is ending, and beautiful looks are ending, etc. Uh, and consciousness, which is really the only reality. It is the reality through which anything is perceived, anything is known, any sensations, any perceptions. The reality of consciousness is somehow overlooked, but it's overlooked by the mind, because the mind is sort of operates through the senses and is basically looking at thoughts and feelings and looking at perceptions and sensations. It's it's not turning its attention to the looker, to what it perceives. And so in satsang, at some point in time, there is a revelation that is not what comes and goes, is not what is permanent, is not the reality, and yet there is a reality. We have a forefeeling that there is a reality, and that this experience right now is not nothing. And from that forefeeling, there is a knowingness, sort of that is calling to bubble up to the surface. It's yearning to be revealed, and so as a result of this forefeeling that there is eternity, there is a causeless peace and happiness, we continue to explore, and at some point we our fascination with the senses diminishes. It sort of slowly fades. It ceases to be the path for happiness, and then we are in contemplation. And as soon as we are in contemplation, the self, meaning consciousness, capital self, capital S, reveals itself, because it is contemplation that reveals the self. It's like your interest in in music, or your interest in going to California, or your interest in going to India. It's as soon as there is that interest, you're in the revelation. It's everything you need to know about India is going to come to you, because your attention is your interest has awakened in that in the reality of consciousness, and it's that awakened interest that that brings forth the reality of experience, the reality of consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's clear that it's very clear that the me, the mind, all that stuff is not the answer. So that's very, very clear. So
Yeah, the mind operates with forms, with experiences, whether they're subtle experiences or gross experiences. So, and that's constantly arising and dissolving. It doesn't have the permanence of that peace has. It's like the weather. So yeah, it becomes clear that that's not where the self is, but there are habits in the body mind that maintain, that call your attention and sort of your fascination with those events. It takes a while to relax and to dissolve. So it's really important that at the feeling level you relax and release. You go to your to your openness, you go to your relaxation, you go to the borderless witnessing, to the stillness which is there, and you invite all the sensations in your body mind to come to that resting place, which is a place of presence, and to relax in that. And as it comes to your invitation to the relaxation, which is an open invitation, it's not expecting anything. It's not saying, "Yeah, I want the sensation to relax, and that's my way of getting rid of you." No, it's not. It doesn't have an intention, a personal intention. It's just loving. Love is openness. So basically, you're in the love. In the love, true love is unconditional. It's not weighing and measuring and bargaining. It's really unconditional. And there is wisdom in love, of course. There is intelligence. Sometimes a loving thing to do is to say no or to step away. So I don't mean love that is void of intelligence and wisdom. They come hand in hand. But still, the quality of love is openness and is unconditional love. It's a at the body feeling level. It is coming to the transparency of the heart and the borderless vastness, the edgeless quality of the heart. And it's open to everything. There is tremendous patience in love, and there is willingness and trust and courage, because you are in the love, you are with the beauty, and so that gives you the strength to be still, even when the images on the screen are not according to not pleasant, or not according to your desire. It's via your relaxation and via your openness and your willingness that the lead is transformed to gold, that there is this magical transformation from conflict to peace.
Yeah, I trust it. Totally trust it.
Yeah.
I mean, even just a small glimpse of it helps you trust it completely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the more you trust consciousness, that consciousness is openness. It's not a personal agenda. The more you contemplate and you trust and you live as best as you can according to the universality of consciousness and not the personality of thought. The more you do that, the more you will find that it will deliver more and more glimpses. It will deliver the sweetness and the delight that makes it easier and easier for you to abide in the self eternal.
It makes everything easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really important to contemplate that whatever personal, what seems to be personal, they arise, these impressions arise, meaning the mind arises to you, you not being a limited person, you as consciousness. And it's coming to the presence right now that hears these words. It's a borderless open presence. You sort of, you come to it directly in your totality. It is your totality that comes to itself, realizes itself. Hello, Grace. And yeah, and so it is a moment by moment in a way. It's not just simply an intellectual understanding, which is important, but there is more to it than that. Uh, it's the experience of the borderless quality of consciousness. Obviously, it's reality because consciousness is real right now. So it's the sort of getting a feeling of the reality of consciousness.
Yeah.
Moment by moment is there. In your sleep, when you lie down in bed, and there is a sort of a dissolution of the body, a dissolution of the world, and the mind is getting quieter and quieter. There is a reality that is experiencing that is perceiving that. So while usually we go with the mind out in the world, it's important to stay with the reality of consciousness, sort of staying with the screen, staying with the source, and allowing the images to appear as they appear and dissolve as they dissolve, but remaining in your contemplation. It is your contemplation that, like Rupert was saying, that brings the world body mind to dissolve in the source. And in the absence of a contemplation, the tendency is to go out with the senses.
Yeah. Definitely a habit.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how much you know and how much you do this, I mean, that habit is very tricky.
Yeah, but you see, it's like the weather. I mean, it doesn't last forever. It keeps changing. It keeps changing.
Oh yeah, and it also lasts a lot less longer. The more I
Yeah.
practice this, the less severe, number one, and the longer.
Yes.
Yeah, the duration is less.
Yes. Right.
So I mean, I've heard some speakers say that there's nothing the individual can do, but it feels like the individual. I feel like there's progress by doing this because it's less and less severe the more I do this. The individual aspect of itself.
Yeah. I like to refer to the term individual as indivisible. and not as a separate self.
Okay.
So the me that I take myself to be, that has no reality outside of the reality that of consciousness, that thought only refers to consciousness, images, memories, ideas.
Yeah.
They only refer to consciousness, which is what is the reality of a thought. So a thought without consciousness is no reality. So the reality of a thought, the reality of a perception, the reality of any experience, it always refers to the reality of consciousness. So in terms of what you do to help your sadhana, to help your your exploration, that comes from consciousness.
Mm. Yeah.
So the love for truth is not the dream character that is loving the truth, because dream character is just an inert perception that is imagined to be real. That has no volition.
Mm.
There is only one true volition, which is the volition of consciousness. Well, consciousness is beyond volition, but in terms of this language, this conversation. Um, so whatever you do in your exploration, it's consciousness doing it. It is your love for consciousness, which is consciousness love for itself, because you are consciousness. When you refer to your love or your passion or your interest or your practice or your meditation, it's you as consciousness, not you as some imaginary person. It's so tricky, this sense of self. It just is taken so much to be real that from the mind's point of view, this conversation is like almost crazy, because reality is the reality of the person according to the mind. I as this person is real, and usually we refer to the body. That's what the mind refers to, I as the body mind. This is why it's really important to go back over and over to the contemplation of what is the body mind. What is the body mind? In your actual experience, the body is sensation or memory or thought. The me, the body mind is memory, thought, and sensation. Memory, thought, and sensation arise to you. You perceive the thought. You perceive a bodily sensation. But you are not a bodily sensation. You are not even a conglomeration of bodily sensations. Because whatever you perceive, that's not you. You are nothing that you perceive. So you're not any specific thing that you perceive. So that's important for you to contemplate that in order to to take apart this belief system that I am this body mind. How could you be the body mind if the body mind is appearing to you as sensation and as perception?
Can't be.
Yeah. So it's you, that the real you, the only you, there are two yous, is you consciousness. You, the reality of consciousness. So, the people, the teachers, or folks who speak about there is nothing that you can do, they're they're speaking to the dream character.
Right.
But it makes no sense to refer to you as a dream character. That's like a lie. It's like, I
Oh,
mean,
I know.
such a pointer is off the mark,
It's
off the
pointless.
mark. It's off the mark. You're always speaking to consciousness. Consciousness, I'm always speaking to consciousness, the same consciousness. It's one consciousness. It's a conversation of consciousness, not a conversation to, some form, some identification. So yes, you as consciousness, you can help the process big time, big time. So rather than perceiving reality through the senses, go to the reality that perceives. And you don't need to go anywhere for the reality that perceives, because you are that reality. When I say go to the reality that perceives, I don't mean, um, you know, to go anywhere. I don't mean any movement, because you are the reality that perceives.
Yeah. Like you said, it's so close. It's closer than your breath.
Yes, yes. That's the reference to I am that is a reference to that I am that is, that perceives. I am that. I am the consciousness that perceives. I am that reality. But the I, that in that expression, I am that reality, I is consciousness. Is not I, a Magdi, or I, a woman or a man.
Yeah, something you said last week, I think it was, helped me really realize that I think for a long time I was looking for the I, and now I realize you can't look for it.
You are the I looking for the I.
Yeah.
You are that.
Even though
Yes.
you said it a million times, it kind of sunk in a little more recently. So instead of looking for it, just abide in it, sort
You
of.
are right, exactly. You are it, right, exactly. Abiding in it means realizing that I am that. Basically, the abiding it, it's not an activity, it's a non-activity. It's it's a falling back rather than falling forward. It's not moving into the world, into the experiences. It's more relaxing, a relaxation into the self. And so everything that is usually, sort of leaned forward, sort of leans back, and all the events, rather than getting more concentrated, they sort of relax.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because when I have been able to just notice the self in the when if I get lost and then I notice the self, there is a
Mhm.
relaxation, a natural relaxation there.
Yes,
So that's a good way to look at it too because
yes.
it is more relaxing.
Oh yeah, yeah. The path of relaxation is a very, very, very powerful path and very direct path, which is the path of love, which is the path of following your happiness, because happiness is free and relaxed. You cannot be happy in pursuing something. You see, there's no
Right,
relaxation in pursuing.
right.
It's more a relaxation. So that path is is a direct path to the self.
Okay. Very helpful.
And it's not just merely an understanding. It's an experiential path.
Yeah, it's more of I guess a feeling, but not a feeling. It's more of it, like you said, experiential.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, we do some of the yogas, on Sunday, these sort of exercises that we do, they they're part of that. They sort of give you a little inkling of that relaxation. And there are many ways you can do that. But the gist of what we do is to sort of give the body an experience that is not the standard me experience that sort of like shifts the me experience and reveals a more broader, a more uh, a less condensed, less concentrated experience of the body mind. So the relaxation into the space and the releasing into the space and moving the body in ways where there are certain stretches, they're very gentle, stretches that are sort of like releasing and liberating some held tendencies in the body out of the belief in the sense of being a me. So, yeah, so that path is incorporating these sort of uh, relaxing at the body level is very important. It's more important than it's actually the yes. Hey, Kate.
Hello.
Hello, Kate.
Yeah, at first, stepping back, you don't really notice the relaxation of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the more you do it, the more you notice it, and it's still subtle. I guess that relaxation grows as you do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, so it is like when a certain contraction arises, because in the absence of any contraction arising, you are relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
It requires no effort to be relaxed. But when a contraction arises, this is when uh, you go to it in there is a two-pronged approach to it. One, well, of course, first it's important to notice it. So you notice that there is unhappiness, and at the mental level, you will notice that you're in the me and the him, me and a her. You are in that identification. It's important for you to notice that, because invariably that is what misery is about. It's about me and my life, me and my better life, me or what's happening to me, what's going to happen to me tomorrow, which is me now and me tomorrow. Or why did she do this to me? Why didn't she do that to me? Why I was so good to her, and why did she treat me this way? Or my God, where what's going to happen? What's going to happen to my life at work? Am I going to get this position? That so it's always a me identification that's on the screen. So you can notice that. That's eventually, as you start looking at that, you will notice that relatively easily. It's not so difficult to see that. But what is more difficult is how you're feeling. I mean, you're feeling really lousy, like something is gripping you, and that's a different thing than the understanding. But there is a possibility, and this is where really it matters, to just turn your attention to the sensation. It might not feel like a sensation. Usually feeling does not feel like a sensation. It feels like something is happening to me and it's hell. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it depends on the situation, that something is happening to me. But this something is happening to me has a sensation element to it. So you go to the sensation, you turn your attention to the sensation. And it might in the beginning be chaotic, like, because there are all these thoughts arising, and might not seem to be possible to Just sort of be with the sensation, because as you turn your attention to the sensation, there is the thoughts are still talking and saying this and saying that, the noise, the white noise. But still, you navigate right through your body, which is very close to you. It's right there. Your body's right there. So you don't need to go far. You go right into your body. You locate the sensation. Even if you don't locate the sensation, you know there is a sensation in there. So you're open to, okay, there's a sensation going on. There is some sort of sensation going on. And the sensation is neutral. Sensation is neutral. So this is like one of the things that we do in the yogas on Sundays, to notice that sensation can arise, but nothing is happening to you. There is a sensation. Is like if you right now like got the sensation of your feet on the ground, on the floor, just contemplate that sensation. See if you can like give it any sort of shape or color, just whatever. Imagine that you're painting it with some colors, It's there, and before a thought comes and says, "Oh, these are my feet," the sensation is completely neutral, and it's just awareness of a sensation. It's like it's inseparable. The sensation and the awareness are inseparable, but there is a neutrality about it. There isn't. So there's, in a similar way, an emotion, a feeling. There is a sensation quality to it that is neutral. You go to that. It's there. It will be found in your body, and you just stay with the observation that there is a neutrality to that sensation. What is not neutral is a thought that comes and says, "Oh God, I shouldn't be feeling this way." Okay, it's immediately thought comes and says, "I, okay, should not be feeling this way." And as soon as this thought come in, "I shouldn't be feeling this way," why did she do that to me? Why did she make me feel this way? Why did he make me feel this way? As soon as that comes on board, the neutrality is not there anymore. You're in some sort of battle with some other, with yourself, with an imagined other, and the more you battle, the more unhappy it is. So, but when you go to the sensation, to the feeling, and you go to it to explore it, not to get rid of it, not to fix it, not to try to dismantle it. No, we're not doing any of that, because that maintains it. We're not going with a mission. We're just going to, because it's there. There's something there. So we're just going because it's there. There meaning right here, meaning it's not inseparable from myself. See, it's encompassed. The experience at the body level, the thoughts and the emotions, all of that is right there. It's intimately, it's non-dual. It's not separate. It's right there. So I don't really have to go far. I just go directly to where I am, to what is going on. But I do not go with any intention. I go just with love, with curiosity and love and willingness. Okay, if the mind says it feels lousy, okay, that's fine. We're not going to argue with that. If the mind says I want to get rid of it, says, well, I'm not arguing with that either, but I know that's how can you get rid of something that is? But we realize, that intelligence, that you try to get rid of something is a joke, because you cannot get rid of what is. you never experience a future. You never experience a tomorrow. You never experience a yesterday. So to get rid of something means I'm going to have a better tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to get rid of it. So we realize that the separate self trying to resist and fight is is a dream. It's a dream because there is just the wholeness of now, the totality of now. And the totality of now, there is nothing missing and nothing too much. Because totality is wholeness. There is a wholeness, wholeness, holiness to presence. And so when you approach your the feeling or the emotion at the body level, you're approaching it. I mean, you approach it both at the mind level, realizing that you're adopting the me ignorance, and at the body level, you approach it as a neutral bodily sensation, and the bodily sensation is has really no separate substance from consciousness.
Thank you very much. I don't want to hog the whole session.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so it's so you come to the experience of consciousness. Everything comes to the experience of consciousness, meaning consciousness knowing itself as the reality. And the the tendencies of emotions to run our life, they shift, they relax in our understanding.
Yeah.
So if there are any other questions, you can pose a question by speaking out, or by via the chat. The chat.
Hi, Magdi.
Hey, Kate.
I wanted to see if you could hear me. I haven't tried this before.
Oh yes, I hear you. I hear you very well, Kate. You hear me well?
Yes, yes, I see you as
Yes.
well. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day.
It's kind of a silly custom we have here. uh, anyway, thank you for doing this today. Um, I can't really think of a question other than just noticing, I guess, a good practice for me anyway is just noticing the mind and then just dropping back into the stillness.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. There's nothing you can really do, but at the same time, I guess I don't have to spend so much time giving the mind so much attention.
Hmm. Yeah, Kate, when you notice the mind already, that's a big deal because the mind loves to go unnoticed. That's how it. That's how it's like a thief. You like to go undiscovered. That's how it maintains itself. So noticing the mind is a big deal. Now, it's important to notice the mind without adding mind to it.
Okay, I think I know what you mean by that because by adding mind to it, you mean a commentary about how it should or shouldn't be there, or
Yes?
that you want something else to be here besides the mind. And so that's another sort of meta commentary on the mind.
Right, right. So, right. Then then the mind again plays the trick of saying, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, we're observing the mind," and then it gets into the picture and says, like the commentaries you just said, "Oh, it shouldn't be," noticing this and noticing that. Oh, good, I'm doing good. I'm becoming a good meditator. Or if I watch the mind, if I watch the mind really good, I'll be able to get rid of it. That's a mind trickery as well. So there has to be like a complete surrender, a complete, total love, total love. The total is total surrender. Your entire being is surrendered to this moment. Is surrendered to what's arising. And so it's a complete yes. It's a complete yesness. When you are in the complete yes, you are in such beauty, you are in the love, you are the love. And everything surrenders to your yesness.
I Yeah, that's really great. And what I'm noticing is difficult over here is to do that without a secret agenda. You know,
Yeah,
agenda that says, okay, if I do that, then I'll get there, or
yeah,
I'll shift
right,
my perspective.
right. That's what delays the process. It's not the complete surrender. There is a surrender, but there is an agenda. So the agenda is always refers to me as a person. It always refers to me as a person. It's there isn't an agenda that is impersonal. The agenda that is impersonal comes from love, comes from beauty, comes from universality, comes from totality, wholeness. So it comes from the heart. It's sort of like a spontaneous expression of love and of universal love. That the impersonal agenda is not really an agenda. It's impersonal love, impersonal desire. Is there is a There's a lot of sweetness and beauty in it. There is nothing that is sort of narrow or contracted about it, or that's impatient about it, that's uh, and you know, like surrendering to God is a, in the religious terms, is a surrender. It's a total surrender, which is based on the recognition of that one great love, which is the love of God, the love of the eternity of consciousness. You know, but the agenda for the person maintains the person. It delays the process, the trickery of the mind, because there is still in the space a belief that I am this woman, I am this person. But the woman, the person, Kate, arises as bodily sensation and as thoughts, memories to you, you, you as consciousness. So the consciousness that has no form, no objectification to it. It doesn't have a location. It's not contained in any container. It's the borderless presence. It's the intelligence. It's the wisdom. It's the beauty. It's the love. The freedom. That's what hears these words. That's what speaks these words. That's what is. That's the reality. Not some thoughts about Kate or some thoughts about me in time. Thoughts about me in time are inherited patterns, you know, from, that's what we refer to as the mind, you know, the separate self. They're inherited thought patterns and feelings and emotions, bodily sensations that are interpreted as a me, contractions, resistances. That's what the me is. It's some form of, you know, pursuit and resistance. So it's good when you notice, you know, the personal agenda, not to fight with it, not to criticize yourself about it, not to uh, have regrets or put yourself down about it at all, because the true you is consciousness. The true you is not some person. How can you put consciousness down or criticize consciousness or, you know, tell consciousness, gee, you should do better, you know? Just you you recognize it. You recognize the personal agenda, and in this recognition there is intelligence and wisdom.
Mm.
Trust it.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of letting go of the person um, without any concern for the consequences, um, because it doesn't seem like you need the person to live the life. The life could be lived without it.
Well, from the mind's perspective, life is personal. In a way, from the mind's perspective, life refers to a person. But it doesn't refer to your totality. It doesn't refer to your wholeness, to your globality. So the person is a bundle of concerns. But you are not the person. You are the totality. You are the wholeness. You are the globality. So you go to your freedom. You go to your truth. You go to your globality. And that is not made out of anything, but everything is made out of it. It's made out of your globality. But there really are no things. It's just the wholeness of being, which is the beauty and the love and the tenderness, the freedom and the happiness. But it's not the argumentative mind. But you see, consciousness has no issues with anything. But as you come to your globality, then there is the peace and the relaxation and the freedom. And the release of all the identification, and in your belly, in your chest, in your entire body, in your shoulders, in your face. The relaxation of the identification, the release of it in the space. And you release all your hold, your transparency. It's already released. Your true body, your true being is not has no opacity. It's not has no density. So you release the thoughts and the sensations. You let them go with the exhalation, and they dissolve at the end of the exhalation in the stillness. It's the stillness of presence. But it's not the personal presence. It has no borders, no edges. It's your globality, your transparency. You can.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yes. Yeah. So you can release the mind.
Mm.
Let it be. Give it its complete freedom. Because you are the bestower of freedom. You're the source.
Thank you.
Hmm. So there can be freshness. Never before, never, not in time. Not a continuation. Not the consequences. Freshness, unborn, the unborn presence. Any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, I thank you very much for your lovely company.
Thank you, Magdi.
Hello, Tay just joined us. Hello,
Yeah,
Tay.
I that link over there.
You're welcome, Grace. Tay, hello and goodbye. I was just saying goodbye, but I'm willing to stay for a minute if you have any question. Hello, Tay.
Hi, Magdi. I didn't have any questions. I was trying to get on earlier and I couldn't. And
Okay.
I tried, but I'm happy to at least say hello.
Okay,
That's it.
beautiful,
I will
beautiful.
listen to the audios.
Okay, we have finally figured out how to get the link. Lee was very helpful with that. And so from now on, I will post the link on my Facebook page about half hour before the group starts. So you can go to the
Thanks a
Facebook
lot.
page. Yeah, you're welcome. You can go to the Facebook page and check it out. Namaste. See you soon. Love you guys.
Love you.
Goodbye.